going blank. Were you watching it? Were you watching this live streaming at the time?
We were, and to be honest with you, I'm still a little shaken. When you're enjoying something like esports, like Madden, like video games, and to have something like this happen is just such a shocking reality. This weekend.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jason, real quick. I'm going to go straight to the press conference underway right now in Jacksonville.
We'll come back out in a couple hours with a lot more detail. At this point, we had some information we wanted to put out. Just again, answer some very brief questions up to this point. So we just finished clearing the landing of potential witnesses and victims, that type of thing. Here's what we know up to this point. We have no outstanding suspects at this time, no outstanding suspects. We have one suspect in this case. He is deceased at the scene at this point. He is a white male, and we are still working to confirm his identity. We have deceased victims at the scene. We also have injured people at the hospital, and we will release counts later on. We don't have a count for you today currently. We are aware of a video that's out on social media. We have that video, but we would encourage people, if you have additional video or any other information about the incident, please reach out through 630-0500, our non-emergency number, through Crime Stoppers at obviously 1-866-845-TIPS, and share that information. You can also share it online at JSOCrimetips@jacksheriff.org. So, as I mentioned, we just finished clearing the Jacksonville landing of potential witnesses, other victims, that type of thing. We have no outstanding suspects at this point, and we'll have, again, more information and a full brief in a few hours. One thing I can add, we would encourage people not to come downtown to spectate. We don't need that at this point. We've got a very large crime scene downtown, a very large perimeter on this crime scene, and we will divert you away from that, obviously. So with that, a couple of quick questions.
Sure, please. There's a lot of speculation about what led up.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Does it appear the suspect is from our area? We're hearing possibly Baltimore.
Still waiting to be determined.
There's a lot of speculation about what led up to this shooting. Can you say anything about that?
So at this point, no. We'll, as soon as we have more information about that, we'll share it.
So are all the witnesses cleared out of the building? Are all the witnesses cleared out of the
We are still working with the witnesses.
How many witnesses? How many people in the building?
Several witnesses.
Where do you believe that this shooting began?
In the landing, and again, we'll have more detail about that as the night unfolds.
Inside, specifically Chicago Pizza?
Inside one of the restaurants in the landing.
Was it exceeding the fire marshal's limits of occupancy?
No, we haven't even got into that detail yet.
One more question.
What should families be worried about?
How many people were there?
So we will talk about a operation to try to get families information as quickly as we can. Again, this information today, right now, I wanted to get out that we have no outstanding suspects. We have the scene secure, and we will follow up in a couple hours with more information. Thank you all.
Number of fatalities, do we know?
All right, you're listening to a press conference there, very, very brief. No outstanding suspects. The one suspect, according to what we just heard, is dead. We didn't hear the circumstances as to how that suspect died. But again, there have been many injured, taken to area hospitals, and 4 dead. So I want to bring in CNN correspondent Polo Sandoval, who's also covering the story for us. So, Polo, what more can you tell us?
Yeah, some of the key points there from that press event just a few moments ago, Fred, that the scene has been cleared, according to authorities. Also, that they have no outstanding suspects. Initially, they had said that they were following up on various reports, trying to make sure that they had all the information that they needed to have. But at this point, they can say and can confirm that only one suspect was involved, who is among the dead, and also that we could expect a full brief a little later. They are obviously encouraging people to stay away from the area. We heard authorities just a short while ago describe this as a large crime scene. Various reports that we've received from the ground is that the shooting was possibly not just inside that restaurant at that location, but also potentially outside. So those were the key points again from authorities just a few moments ago. The scene is secure. The building has been cleared. They are now in the process of debriefing some of the witnesses, and they also can confirm that there are no outstanding suspects in this shooting case. Fred.
All right, Polo Sandoval, thank you so much. Before that press conference, I was talking to Jason Lake. He's the CEO of Complexity Gaming. He's on the phone with me still, coming out of Dallas. And Jason, you had explained earlier that your company, you hire professional gamers, and then you send them out to various tournaments. One of your players was at this Jacksonville tournament. You were watching it video stream live, as were a lot of people were. You heard the gunfire. So pick it up from there, and what your reaction was when you heard the gunfire. Immediately, could you tell that that was gunfire? At what point did it sink in for you?
I mean, that was our reaction. I was watching the show and chatting with some people from our front office over Slack. And you have that moment where you just don't think, it can't be real, right? And then when people started running, I guess it did become a reality. Our player bolted out of the building and was lucky enough to get down the street to a gym to take cover. And we actually called the police to let him know where our player was so they could go and get his statement. And just a scary day overall. The esports community generally sticks together pretty closely, and everyone knows each other. So we're definitely in mourning today.
Yeah, and I'm glad that your player is okay. He was able to get out, but has he been able to convey to you, who else was there? I mean, what's the age, of folks? How many in general were at this particular site, engaging in this gaming tournament?
This was a regional Madden event, so we're going to be measuring the participants in dozens and not in hundreds. The average age is probably 18 to 22, right in that frame. I don't know the exact number of people that were there, but there were several professional Madden players there. The community was laughing and really enjoying the event. There's different rumors as to what might have caused the outburst, but I'm just not going to speculate on that. I don't think that's healthy. And, our thoughts and prayers just go out with the families, and we're going to look after our guy and do whatever we can to help everybody that's there.
And people generally feel like this is a safe activity, safe places, these, gaming bars or the locations of tournaments like this, even when you have dozens as opposed to, as you described, the hundreds, at some of the major tournaments. Describe for me, what is the atmosphere generally? People feel safe? They're excited. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's a sad thing that we mourn the loss of an American hero, John McCain, this weekend. Guys that went abroad and fought for our freedom, so we could do fun things like play video games. We can get together and celebrate games and celebrate different things we like in our lives. So to have someone walk into an event like this that's all about good sportsmanship and teamwork and just good vibes and do something like this, it's heartbreaking. I think the esports industry as a whole is going to have to step back and take a look at further strengthening our security. And I don't know, I guess I'm a little bit at a loss for words. It's been a shaking day, and just really concerned for our
still very shocking
at the event.
Yeah. All right, Jason Lake, appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we continue to follow this breaking news this hour out of Jacksonville, Florida. Mass shooting at a Madden Xbox gaming tournament. At least 11 people injured, 4 dead. 1 suspect also dead. No outstanding suspects, according to police. We'll have more details right after this.